Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Tim Michael from TimMichaelArts.com, and I got another fun video for you guys. If you've never watched one of these videos from me before, then here's how this works. I take a character that you recognize and I turn it into a character in my style, or in a human format, or in any creature that I decide to do, and I try to make it interesting and fun and dynamic. I work in Manga Studio EX5 or in Photoshop CS6, and of course I really get excited about these videos. I'm going to do something a little different today. Usually I would talk through the video and get my face on this video as much as possible so you guys get to know me. But today I've done something interesting. I produced a song on my laptop that I really enjoyed, and I figured it would be a good backtrack for the speed paint of this video. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. Keep an eye out, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at one more thing, and that's called my G13 from Logitech. This is going to be a review on this guy and how I have my buttons programmed. This was a special request for my YouTubers and my patrons, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about that on this video. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. I'll give you a little bit of the idea behind the device and the programmings that I use. I did do a previous video on this, but they wanted a little bit more detail, so we're going to get right in on that. Okay, I hope that you enjoy the video, guys. I'll be back with more right after we get done with the speed paint. everybody, so what did you think? I really enjoyed making this video so far. We've had a lot of cool stuff. I really enjoyed the drawing. It was one of my favorites so far. And of course the music. It's been a long time since I've produced a song. If you guys enjoyed the music, I got something special for you. If you are a patron at the $3 level on my patreon.com/TimMichaelArts, then you are able to go and download this song for you to use in your videos or just enjoy for music for whatever you want. I hope that you guys enjoy it. So if you're a patron and you're donating $3 per YouTube video, you're getting to be a part of my live streams once a month. This one is coming up on April 25th. And then, of course, you guys are getting to be able to see my sketches that I have in my sketchbooks that no one else gets to see. And, of course, there's just a whole bunch of different things. So I need to say a quick thank you to all of my patrons. If you look down here, you'll see all of my patrons who support me. Would love to put your name on this list. And the $1 donation is a big deal, even though it doesn't sound like much. It means a lot. It also means that you get to watch all of my advanced tutorials that are waiting over on patreon.com, as well as new custom tutorials. When you're a patron, you get to ask me something about how to work in any of these programs, and I will be happy to make a video training you specifically how to do it, and at the same time that video will go up on Patreon so everyone can enjoy it. That's for all of my patrons. It's not just for any patron donate. It's for anyone donating at any level. There's a whole series of videos that you guys don't see here on YouTube that you would see on Patreon. So keep in mind that's there, and I hope that you guys go check it out. All the links are all over the place in here, and of course special thanks to those people down below. If you enjoyed this video, I need a favor. Go to the comments below and tell me who you think I should draw next. I got a large list of people that I could draw, so I would love for you guys to come up with the next person. If not, I'll choose from my list, but I would love to have you guys tell me who you think should happen next. And then, of course, a lot of great stuff is going on all over the place with the Patreon, with the YouTube. So obviously, thank you so much, everybody. I got to go to MegaCon this year, which was a lot of fun. Went last Sunday. So I got a video for you guys, and you can check out that video over here. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. It was a lot of fun to make. I had a couple friends with me, and so got to shoot some video asking them a few questions. And then we finally hung out with my wife at the end. So if you want to see what my wife looks like and get to enjoy her company as much as I do, you can go take a look at that video. It was a lot of fun. Link is over here to go see that video. Okay, and I think that's about it. Oh, one more thing. If you guys really enjoy your videos that you're seeing from me here, I have a whole bunch more that I do that you guys probably don't know about. You can go to artisancentralpodcast.com. If you go there, there are links to all sorts of areas where you can find my podcast. I have two podcasts. One is the Artisan Central Podcast, where I interview artists or talk about art type topics, and then of course my favorite show, which is Behind the Easel. You know, a lot of those YouTubers who have vlogs like my MegaCon vlog. Well, I don't have a lot of time to make vlogs these days, so what I do instead is I actually make audio vlogs, which doesn't make sense, so I guess it'd be an audio blog, audio log, Stardate, I don't know, but basically the idea is there is a audio log that you can listen to, and it's called Behind the Easel, where I talk about wherever I want to talk about, and I have a really good time. When we get to $50 per video on YouTube, I'm actually going to be making 2 episodes of that show a month. So if you already listened to it and you really enjoy it and you want to support more, you can do that by donating at the Patreon account. Okay, so I told you guys that next up we would go ahead and talk about the G13 from Logitech, and I'm looking forward to talking about this because there's someone who wants to know more information. They asked me about it, so we're going to give it to them. So let's go ahead and get right in with that next video. Okay guys, so today we're going to be talking about this guy. Let me get my cable stretched out here. This is the G13 from Logitech. It is a really cool left-handed board made for gamers. It is amazing, and actually very heavy. They have a lead weight in the back of it to keep it nice and sturdy on your desk. But the main goal behind it is to get rid of the big crazy thing that I have in my lap here, which is the keyboard, and to replace this with something much more simple. So instead of having to go crazy with this major keyboard, all you have is your mouse, and your G13 from Logitech. This is probably one of my favorite devices from Logitech. Everything that I own, as far as I know, all of my mice, all of my gaming type stuff, I don't do a lot of gaming, but when I do, I usually get the good stuff. Usually most of it's from Logitech, and I like it a lot. I like their company. So this guy here has some really, really cool features. I'm going to walk through them really quick. These tutorials are very short at the end of the videos, as much as they can be. And then we'll go ahead and head into my screen capture, and I'll show you their software and how you can program it in the software. It's just going to be very basic stuff. It'll just get you started. This tutorial was requested specifically because the gentleman who requested it was wondering what my key commands are, how I set them up for my hand, so that that way they would have a better idea of how they should set their board up. Everyone's going to have a different feeling, and you don't have to go exactly the way that I go. This is not your key to fame here. This is just an option, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change our camera angle so that you guys can see the G13 on my desk, and I'll walk through and we'll talk through all the buttons, okay? Alright, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so I apologize for the odd positioning of the camera. As you can see, I have the tripod legs here holding the camera in position. This is a very quick tutorial, and don't mind all of my crazy wires here. There's a whole bunch of different things they go to. So, we're going to go ahead and talk about this whole area here and just how it plays out. Basic idea, left hand fits comfortably across all of these keys, easy to hit all of them, and then the thumb hits the joystick and these two buttons over here. Now the joystick is also pressable. It can also become a click if you push down. So there's a whole bunch of different features, but let me go ahead and start with the questions that really I wasn't certain about. One first, this is more of a toggle. This is not to move your mouse around. This is to select different things. You'll program this with a key stroke just like everything else, up, down, left, and right. You can even do diagonally, I believe. Each one of those, you can program it to a different key command, which is really useful if you're like wanting to adjust your brush sizes and things. But really, when it comes down to it, that will not be able to be used as a mouse. I was curious about that in my time when I first got it, and I did my research on it, and I figured I'd go ahead and just say that on here because, hey, if I was wondering that, I'm sure someone else is too. There is a whole bunch of different menus, and I don't know how well you can see this menu here. But this is the profile menu, shows all the different profiles, and you might not be able to see that very well with the lighting that I have in here right now so we can actually see the board. But there's that. I can get reports of newest information. I don't use this very much, but it pulls from different RSS feeds, so I can see what the latest news is. UN Chief gives 007 a special mission to eliminate mines. The countdown clock, which you can use these buttons here to start the countdown clock. You can also have a stopwatch, so you can hit it and you can see the stopwatch is going, and I can reset these. And then here is the time, date, and you can see it's 11:39 p.m. right now, Tuesday, April 14th, 2015. Has another little clock right next to it. And then, of course, your CPU and RAM, and that's what I'm using right now on the computer. And then finally we're back to our profile manager. Now, the cool thing about this is you can put in a whole bunch of different programs and profiles and save them into the G13. That means it goes into the G13's memory, and then you can unplug it, take it to another computer that has the drivers, and it will recognize the profiles that are inside this system. That's awesome. Excellent idea. That's in a lot of a lot of Logitech stuff. I have the a mouse from G13. I don't remember what it's called. It's got a bunch of buttons on the side of it, and all those buttons on the Logitech mouse do the exact same thing and work in the exact same software that this G13 does. Okay, so let's take a look just kind of top down. You have your light button that turns on and off the light. You have your button that goes through and scrolls through your menus. Okay, you have these 4 buttons right here that work your selections on your screen, so I can scroll through my profiles or whatever I choose to do. And you can have a certain number of profiles. We can look at that when we get to the computer. Now, for each profile that you program, there are a couple of memory options. You can see here, here's M1, here's M2, and here's M3. And you can see it changes the color of the board. Now, you can program what colors change, you can program how that works, but basically how I have it programmed is like M1 here is programmed for Manga Studio, M2 might be programmed for Photoshop, M3 might be programmed for Illustrator. So each one of these has a key function, and of course, because you can have multiple profiles, I can switch a profile activated. Now, this could be for Flight Simulator, this could be for Call of Duty, this one could be for something else. I don't know, I don't play many games. And so all of these different functions are available through this system. Okay, so Manga Studio is activated. Let's go ahead and look down these buttons here. Each one of these sets of buttons are completely programmable, and I mean you can do macro programmings. It's so much more than just putting in one key command. If you really want, you can program a key so when you hit it, what it will do is not only activate the key that you hoped that it would do, but it can also put in a couple second delay. It can add a whole bunch of features on top of that. The list just goes on and on. It's quite intensive, quite impressive. I love it. So you can do this with all these different keys, everything across this whole board. And that's one of the things that I loved. Not that I used it at all. I don't use that feature. But the ability to edit each one of these and everything completely as I see fit in any way, shape, or form makes this so much easier and kind of automates things, which is really awesome when you're using a big program like Photoshop or Manga Studio especially. That's the basics behind this board. Now let me go ahead and show you a basic idea of how to program something. Let's say I decide that I want to program in G21 down here on the bottom to be my enter button, which is actually what it's programmed to be right now. There is a button over here and it's called MR, and that will save a memory set, and I'll show you how that works. And I don't know the exact names, but I got my keyboard right here, my big one. Let's say that this right now is not programmed to be an enter button. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit MR. It's going to bring up this thing. It says quick macro, press a G key. Okay, this is a G key. All of this is G keys. So I'm going to hit G21. Now that it's done that, now it says enter your keys, then press MR when done. So I'm going to come here to my keyboard, and of course you guys can barely see enter. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit MR. Quick macro recorded. Now this button is programmed for enter. It's really that easy. And you can do all of your different settings that way. Now, if you need to do something more like Control-Alt-Z or other functions, that's where we go into the program and we make it even easier. You're going to see in just a second, we're going to get into that in a little bit. Okay, so that's really the gist of it. Now, let me show you the programmings that I have set up, okay? So, going down the board here, I don't mess around with a lot of the functions that I really could use in this. But, starting off with the basics, this button here is my move button. So if I want to move around the screen, I can hold down that button and then click and drag with my mouse to move around the screen or with my pen. Alt key is this one, so that I can go ahead and select my color picker. Okay. This here, if I go up, will make my brush bigger. If I go down, it'll make it smaller. In Photoshop, if I go to the left, it will make my brush more fuzzy. It'll give it more feather. And if I go the other way, it'll make it harder. Okay? G22 is my redo button. G21 is my enter button. G20 is my undo button. G8, I'm jumping up really high, I know, and I apologize, is my rotate button. So if I want to rotate my canvas, I will hit G8 and I can rotate around in Manga Studio, in Photoshop, and whatever programs I want. In other programs, I might have some of these top buttons set to do different things. One will bring up hue and saturation, one will bring up a lasso tool, another one will bring up another feature or something like that. But I keep everything very, very simple. Like G15 and 16 on mine are my zoom buttons to zoom in and zoom out. It makes it really easy. So as I'm going along, rotate. Okay, let's move my canvas. Okay, let's hit Alt so I can select my individual color. Okay, great. Maybe I'll rotate a bit more. Okay, zoom in, zoom out. Nope, I messed up. Undo, redo. Okay, lasso tool, whatever one I have programmed for lasso tool. Okay, got an area selected. One of these buttons I think I have G11 set as my lasso, G12 as my deselect, which is Control D and works in Manga Studio and Photoshop to deselect what I call the crawling ants feature. And then, so let's say I have my selection, I've painted in it, I've either set a mask or I've painted with the ants crawling around. I'll hit G12 and that will remove that selection, makes it really easy. I can jump to G4 to go to my brush. I can jump to G10, I think, to go to my eraser, G3 to go to my eraser. Each one of these things is just very basically programmed, and it's hard to remember it off the top of my head. But once I get in and I start working with it as I'm drawing on my board, then I find that my presets come back to mind. So you can change everything about this board head to toe in how you want to program it and stuff. It's specifically for left-handed programmings. So you'll find that instead of having that humongous keyboard in your lap, you're going to have this guy. It's going to make things a lot easier. Okay? Let's go ahead and jump into the software itself now and take a look at that. And we can discuss a little bit further about what that software does for this thing and just looking at the drivers and things. Alright everybody, so welcome back to the next part where we're going to go ahead and talk about the programming itself that goes into the computer that will communicate with the Logitech G13. You have a whole bunch of options here when you open up the program for the first time. If you have more than one Logitech gaming device plugged in, it'll show up on this screen and you can click whatever you want. This is a very, I would suggest, very self-explanatory program. You can click any of the functions here on the pad that are lit, or you can go down here to the submenu and you can click on these. Let's go to the first one here and just work our way through. Here's the different programmings that I have set up. Now, I don't honestly remember all of my different programmings, but you can take a look at all of them, clicking your way through each one by going through your programmings and see what there are. There's quite a few in here that I have that are in the computer, not saved on the G13, and you'll see that in a few moments. So I can go to a programming, I can take a look at it and see if I like it. If I want to change something, I can simply click on the button I want to, hit the little down arrow and assign new command. There's a bunch of different functions. The keystroke, which is just adding in a normal key. Same idea of using the macro programming, the quick macro programming that I showed you on the G13 itself. The multi-key, which is really cool, it allows you to individually record key commands and literally records down to very small, minute actions. So when you push the enter button, what you're actually doing is you're holding down the button for next to nil and then lifting up on it. This programs that literally down to those details, which is really, really cool. The text block, I haven't messed around with that too much. There's the mouse function if you want to program a button to do something that the mouse would do, a media button to play music, hotkeys to close open windows, different browser tablets, tabs or anything like that. Open a program, you can use it as a shortcut button. Here's functions to open your email, web browser, media players, calculators, all sorts of stuff like that. And Ventrilo, if any of you guys are gamers and use Ventrilo to do your communications, that's another option. All that stuff can be programmed in there. Makes it really easy. You can program everything. You can change your settings if you want to be an M1, M2, or M3 to program for different programs within that profile, which is really, really cool. So I can program Photoshop, I can program Illustrator, and I can program Manga Studio all in these three functions within that, which is beautiful. Next one here is going to be for the Logitech LCD, the different options that are going to show on the LCD when you have them going on. You can choose whether they're involved or not. So like I don't watch the news, I don't read the news, so I can turn off my RSS reader so I don't have to look at that when I scroll through the functions with the scroll button. I can program the scroll button to do different things, makes things really simple. Next option is really fun, and that's the light programming. So let's say I pull up my G13 here and I show you guys the G13, and you can see as I scroll around on my screen and change it, it changes it also on the G13, and you can just mess around with this as much as you want and program in what you want. It's really cool, and it's really easy to program. It's kind of pre-command programmed. You can choose M1, choose a color, click M2, choose another color, M3, choose another color, and it will save those colors in there for those profile options, or those subcategories, I would call them personally. And then finally we can go over here, and this is how what the computer has in profiles and the profiles to go option. There's a little bit of memory that's inside the G13 which allows you to save profiles from your computer into your G13. And then you can take the G13 into another computer with drivers that have the G13 system, and it will find your profiles and use them. Pretty cool function if you ask me. It might work with computers without the drivers, I'm honestly not sure. Having that internal programming I think is a pretty sweet idea, and I would strongly suggest it. And it's really easy. If you want to program in or out, you can literally click and drag into one or click and drag out of one. So maybe your friend wants to have your profile, you can click it and drag it into their system and then they can keep it. I honestly haven't tried saving outside of any of these features or anything like that. This is specifically within that program. The settings button has a whole bunch of different options. I really don't mess around with it. Once you plug it in for the first time, you install the drivers, you're ready to rock and roll without messing with the settings, honestly. But you can do things like have, Logitech turn on when you turn your computer on, or, just basic features like that. Let's do a quick run through now in the program itself. Let me go ahead and put my picture where I can make my changes. As you can see, I'm using my functions over here on the side of my board on my Cintiq. I honestly don't suggest it because this scroll wheel, if you are not careful, will go absolutely bonkers and will send your computer into a mad zoom that you just can't fix until you reboot through the services the services menu, which is super annoying. So I like using the G13 to do my features. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go into my profile for the G13, and hopefully, if I can wake it up, I will show you guys how it works. Let me get into one of the profiles that will hopefully work for this. It might not work. Sometimes this thing gets a little gimmicky, and I think I'm using the wrong wording for this, but sometimes it just doesn't work properly. So I'm trying to get the... board's not behaving right now. I'm so sorry, guys. I would show you what each command does, but you basically get the gist of it. I'll probably have to reset the board. It's not that big a deal. Honestly, I would probably rate this board and program probably at about 4 to 4.5 stars. And the reason I'm only doing 4 to 4.5 stars is the program can be really gimmicky. I've already recorded this thing 3 times because the software didn't work as smoothly. And obviously you can see the board isn't working perfectly for me right now. That might be because I have it set up a certain way. I can probably, let's try this, go into Manga Studio and change what subcategory I'm in. There we go. Okay. So I just didn't change my subcategory, but I would still probably rate it at about 4, 4.5 because things can be a little glitchy. So you can see now G15, G16 on the board is for zooming. If I hold down G8 and click, I can rotate my canvas, and then I can also just do all of my normal settings if I want to make my brushes bigger or smaller with the joystick and things like that. That leaves my hands away from this, which is really nice because then that makes sure that I don't screw it up in the process of trying to zoom in on something and then the board goes crazy and I have to go in and close my programs, reset everything so I can keep my print pressures and sensitivities. It's just not fun. So okay guys, I think that's going to about do it for this quick tutorial on the G13 review and things like that. I hope that you enjoyed it. Honestly, if you want to see more reviews, let me know. I was thinking another fun review would be on this beautiful little guy right here, which is the Zoom H6, and it is a field recorder. Right now I don't have the mic plugged into the top because I'm actually recording in through a cable into my microphone over here that's off screen. I can keep an eye on its meters and things like that. It's a really cool thing, and it'd be fun to do a review on that. I have a ton of technology that I could do reviews on, and it would be a lot of fun to do, just things to do after speed paints or as videos in general. And once again, guys, just want to send out a quick thank you to my patrons who make these videos work. I have told a lot of my people that I do commissions for that I'm slowing down on commissions, I'm slowing down on taking in book sales and things, because I really want to make sure that I can make more videos for you guys and have fun doing it. You do enough commissions and you do enough books that you illustrate and things like that, it gets tiring. It does. It's a never-ending process. and it's something that I do enjoy doing to a certain extent, but not as much as I enjoy making videos for you guys, drawing what I want to draw instead of drawing a commission. Something that someone else has ordered that I probably wouldn't have drawn in the first place, per se. You know what I mean? So I need your help, because there is a financial income that comes in through making commissions and doing those drawings. And I really appreciate it. It's very helpful to have that money coming in, and quite necessary as well, to especially keep my business running and take care of the family. But at the same point in time, I would like to be able to do that more over here and put commissions to the side, because I'm making the same amount of income that I would be as if I was doing commissions. At this point in time, that's not happening just yet. But for all the wonderful patrons who are supporting me, thank you so very much. You guys have no idea how much you are making me so enthusiastic about making more artwork for you guys. It's a really big deal. You guys need to understand that it's a really big deal. And I love the opportunities that you're giving me, because I'm able to sit down at night and my wife says, so what you gonna do? And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna do work. And work means making a YouTube video for you guys instead of doing a commission for one of my clients. There's a couple commissions still to finish up, but once those are done, I would love to just focus on doing this for you guys. That would be so much fun. But I need your help. Like I said, I need your support. There's a lot of bills to pay, a lot of things to keep a business running. There are legal things out the wazoo. There's business licenses, all sorts of crazy stuff. There's taxes at the end of the year, and there's a lot of things that I need help with. So your financial support is wonderful, and I also love really communicating with my patrons, actually having full-blown conversations. I love talking with you guys. Just don't forget that if you are a $3 or above patron, you guys are going to get to be in my live stream coming up on Saturday, April 25th. Look forward to it with you guys. It's from 12 to 3, and we might run a little later depending on how that goes. And then I have a whole bunch of interviews that I'm planning on doing with a bunch of people that I met at MegaCon on Sunday. So I'm going to be getting in contact with them, and you can expect hopefully some more Artisan Central podcasts coming in the near future. That's going to be kind of more of a random show now. And if you listen to Behind the Easel, thank you so much. And remember, if we get up to $50 in support for every new YouTube that comes onto new video that comes onto YouTube, then we will make 2 episodes a week of the Behind the Easel. Also, don't forget, guys, if you are wondering about becoming a patron, you can set your limits, and you can say, okay, I only want to support for 1 video, 2 video, 3 videos a month. That way, you're not losing all your money, because Tim went crazy and made 600 videos in a month. So, thank you so much, guys. There's a whole bunch of rewards that I want you to see over on Patreon, so please click on the links that you see. There's links in the description below. There's links all over this video. There's the new card feature where even mobile people can click on it. Please do. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Thank you so much, guys. I got to get out of here and get ready for bed. But first, I got to finish rendering this so I can get it up for you guys. So God bless y'all. I love you, and I'll see you next time right here on Tim Michael Arts with another YouTube video. Go into the comment box below. This is your job. And tell me who you think I should draw next. I really enjoyed drawing Stitch. It was a lot of fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed it too. Hit that like button for me. That means a lot to me that you guys hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, become my subscribbler. That means just hit that subscribe button so you can get lots more videos from me here when they come out. Alright? God bless you guys. I'll see you next time.